The Miami Heat are champions. They won the 2K25 Summer League Championship last night over the Memphis Grizzlies, 120-118 in a thriller, an overtime thriller. We'll break down how that game went and how it ended, as well as breaking down comments from one of the star players in Josh Christopher about the Miami Heat culture. We'll break all that down right now on this episode of Heat Digest, so let's get to it. So, Summer League champions. Yes, we are a champion. Unfortunately, it is the Summer League champion. I say unfortunately because we all want an NBA championship and the Summer League championship, despite the fact that they get rings, which I'll show you in just a minute because I did not know that until it actually happened. But again, it is fun to see that the Miami Heat are able to go out and get these youngsters and put them onto a contracts, draft them, and just have a great selection of talent for the years going forward. Players like Alondas Williams, who have been here for a year or two, really leading by example, as well as players like Pelle Larsson and Kel'el Ware, who are simply simply some of the better rookies of this year's class, really just leading the way in the sense of talent on this team. And again, it's a joy to watch. Now, let's focus on Larsson first, as he did not get to play a lot in the first half of this game, as he was constantly in foul trouble, but he made up for it at the end of the game with this shot.
Larsson on the catch, guarded by Pippen. Shot clock at 12. Ware with the screen. Larsson keeps the bounce. Running shot is good, and Miami wins it. Pelle Larsson gets it done for the Heat.
Now that was the game-winning shot. If you don't know how the Summer League works, once you get to overtime, which this game did get to, as the game finally ended at 113 apiece, you then go to overtime. Now, overtime works with a set score, same way as the All-Star game did a few years back. So, both teams tied at 113. The set score was then set to 120. First team to reach 120 points wins. So, first one to 7 points. It's like pickup basketball, starting at 0 all over again. First one to 7 wins. And in this case, the Miami Heat were the first ones to 120. I will say it was a roller coaster of a game up until that point, as Josh Christopher and a bunch of other Miami Heat players were making a bunch of plays and getting a bunch of stops on the Memphis Grizzlies team that was playing very, very well, led by Scottie Pippen Jr., who was just a phenomenal basketball player. Christopher, I will say, put us in a position to win this game, as we were at 115 and I believe Memphis was at 116, down a point. The game was getting more nerve-wracking every single possession. Christopher made a step back three-point shot to push it to 118, and we only needed one basket to win, which resulted in Pelle Larsson making the shot I just played for you guys. An absolutely stellar situation, a stellar series of events, as it resulted in the Miami Heat winning the Summer League Championship. Now, we can break down the box score very quickly, as it was very impressive to say the least, as the Miami Heat were being led by a collection of players. It wasn't just one player really sticking out and doing the entire, just running the offense, scoring the ball, it wasn't Kel'el Ware dominating with 40 and 20 in the game. It was a collection of great players playing extremely well, and it resulted in a team win, and that's exactly what we like to see. That's closer to Miami Heat, a Miami Heat brand of basketball. So, for the box score, Kel'el Ware, crazy efficient. It just wasn't the most loud game in the world, and I'll break down what I mean by that. He ended with 21 points, 10 rebounds, and a block. He shot 8 of 10 from the field. That's 80%. He missed the one three-point shot he did attempt and made 5 of his 6 free throws in 32 minutes. He was phenomenal. It's just that it didn't feel like he had 21 and 10 when the game ended. It felt like he probably had 15 and 9 when the game ended. But when you check the box score, he was doing more than it seemed like it, at least from the visual eye. It wasn't just Kel'el Ware again, Kel'el Ware on the lob. It wasn't constant buckets. He did it from the start of the game until the end of it. It was a constant, consistent performance from Kel'el Ware, and overall a great performance. Next guy up was Pelle Larsson, the hero, the dude who hit the game-winning shot that we played earlier in the video. 16 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, a steal, and a block. He shot 7 of 9 from the field, including 1 of 2 from behind the three-point line in just 21 minutes of basketball. Whenever he was actually able to be on the floor last night, he was so extremely productive, and he played a great brand of basketball once again. Not only extremely efficient, but it wasn't just the fact that the ball had to be in his hands. He was moving without the basketball, backdoor cuts, moving off of screens, setting screens, and then picking off of those screens. He did a phenomenal job. He was able to move without the basketball phenomenally, and it resulted in a lot of easy baskets, hence the fact that he shot 7 of 9 from the field. For the rest of the starting five, Alondes Williams, who played like a 10-year veteran yet last night against this Memphis Grizzlies team, played very, very well. By far and away the minute leader for this Miami Heat team with 37 of them. Played 8 of 16 from the field, producing 21 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds with a single steal. And again, it's 8 of 16 from the field and 4 of 9 from behind the three-point line. Efficiency was our middle name last night, as long as we weren't considering the free throw line, which we'll get to in just a second, as those numbers were horrific. But going on, Josh Christopher, by far and away, if not Larson being the biggest name, it was Christopher last night, as he played 31 minutes, and he was stellar, as he's been for the last few games. 24 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, 3 steals, 2 blocks, 9 of 17 from the field, and he shot 6 of 10 alone from the three-point line. Simply phenomenal play from someone in Josh Christopher, who is really trying to showcase he has the ability to play in the big league. He can play in the NBA and hold his own. As we know, he played for the Houston Rockets, then he played for the G League, as he was really trying to find his stride on the professional level. And again, he played very, very well, and now he's really showcasing his talent. We'll highlight some of the comments he made after the game about how great it is to play for the Miami Heat in the culture that is established here. Last guy I want to acknowledge is Cole Swider. This kid is a marksman, and I mean this. I watched every minute of this game last night, and this kid is legitimately a three-point weapon at any moment on the floor. He shot 6 of 10 from the field, which is obviously another great shooting night. But again, 5 of 8 alone from the three-point line. Simply phenomenal. He added 19 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists with 1 block, a positive plus-minus. This kid can shoot the rock, and there's no other way to break it down. He reminds me a lot of a Klay Thompson, and the reason I say that is because of the set shot he has. I know the form's a bit different, but again, there's a lot of resemblance. There was a shot last night which he caught in the quarter. I believe this was at the end of the second quarter going into half. Time was running down. Miami ran a play, found Swider in the corner, caught the ball, pump fake, head fake, defender flies by. He then leans left to then shoot it farther behind the backboard. It was nothing but net. It was a beautiful basketball play and a beautiful result by a great player and a great shooter in Swider, Cole Swider, who, again, an absolute marksman, another young player for this Miami Heat team that is playing extremely, extremely well. Now, for the rest of the highlights in this game, obviously we are the champions. That is something we've established early, but for the rest of it, Josh Christopher, the MVP of this game last night. He should have been the MVP of the entire league, as this kid has been on a roll for the last few games. He's simply been phenomenal for this Miami Heat team. I mentioned the three-point shot he made, the step-back three he made, the push the lead from, or not lead, but points scored from 115 to 118, resulting in us only needing one singular basket to then win the game. And again, it was a big-time shot for a big-time player, and Christopher really did step up when it was needed. The last 2-3 games for the Miami Heat, he has been by far and away the best player, at least when it comes to offensive production. He has been just a stellar performer for this Miami Heat team, and I genuinely think that he can legitimately play in the big league in this up-and-coming season for this Miami Heat team. Now, I'm going to show a video of the rings, because I do have a video here, and then we're going to get in the comments made by Christopher about how nice it is and how great it is to play for this Miami Heat organization. It's a pretty cool ring for a Summer League championship. I'm just going to say that. I don't know what the budget is for Summer League, but it's doing pretty well, whatever it is. So, again, new jewelry for the winners in the Miami Heat organization. Obviously, it's great to see another winning check mark next to this Miami Heat team. But not only that, the youngsters that we won this with. Obviously, these are first and second year players playing, trying to showcase the talent to earn roster spots going into next fall for the next NBA season. These guys obviously are at the helm of the classes, because obviously we just competed against everyone else. We went 6-0, win the championship, playing against really good teams. Memphis was no rollover. They are a great team. Golden State, no rollover. Another great team. And this Miami Heat team, with the collection of talent from this past year's draft and the years prior, are playing extremely, extremely well. And I love to see it happen, as this Miami Heat team is going to be good for years to come. Now let's break down the comments made by Christopher about how great it is to play for this Miami Miami Heat team. Now, this was produced by Chandel Richardson. A great reporter says this. Josh Christopher explains the best aspect of playing for the Miami Heat. Again, this was published this morning after last night's big win in the interview about him being the MVP, as obviously he's getting the most microphone time being the MVP of this team, getting the most accolades, if you will. Going on to say, and I quote, Christopher credited Heat culture for his breakthrough summer. Going on to say, and I quote, sometimes it's just something that you can't put into words, Christopher said. Heat culture is something I've just understood from a message I sent to UD, Heat legend Udonis Haslem. Like, bro, I'm just trying to pull up because I know what you guys are going to get out of me. I know what I bring. I've been able to play basketball for a long time, but I think this Heat culture thing brought the best out of me. I don't think I've had a better series of games. That is the end of the quote from Christopher, saying Christopher remained unsigned after the Summer League success, but has the opportunity to earn a roster spot this fall at training camp. He feels the Heat are a perfect fit. Now, is it just Christopher that is a perfect fit? No, but he is a great player, and he has a great mentality and a great attitude, and because of that, he then fits in with a great culture and a great team in Miami. Now, he's not going to be the only youngster that is going to be fighting and trying to get one of those spots, as obviously Khalil Ware's are obviously already on the roster. Larson is on the roster. Keyshawn Johnson is going to get on the roster. He'll be signed to a two-way, but I believe in and wholeheartedly he will be on the roster by a month, 2 months into this NBA season, as what he brings to the table is undeniable. Christopher, I believe, has the chance to be one of those players as well. He has so much athletic and lateral ability. His ability to score the basketball offensively is ridiculous, as well as just the athleticism he carries with himself. He can do so many things with the basketball, and he's a momentum builder. Like, the shots he makes, the plays he makes are athletic. They're momentum swinging plays that he can really, really help not only the Miami Heat, but really any team he would be able to get playing time with. Obviously, he had a short career with the Rockets before going to play in the G League. Hopefully, or maybe this is just what the the youngster needed. He's obviously very young, 23, 24 years old. He has a lot to learn. If you put him in a Miami Heat culture, in a Miami Heat organization where he gets molded by players like coaches like Eric Spoelstra and executives like Pat Riley, as well as players like Jaquez, Butler, Hero, Robinson, the list goes on, and Bam Adebayo, like, he's going to be able to mold into a great character, a great player, and it will result in a good career, as well as a great career for the Miami Heat. Again, I think this is a lot of good and positive things coming from this Miami Heat organization, not only singularly, for Christopher, but the Miami Heat organization as a whole. I mentioned it earlier. Swider, Ware, Larson, Stevens, the amount of Londis Williams, Josh Christopher, these guys are legit talents. They are going to be able to play for an NBA team, whether it be next year, in 2 years, or in 3 years. They're going to be good players. They're already good players. They're going to transform to great players, and if they can accept the attitude and the culture that comes with this Miami Heat organization, just watch out, as the Miami Heat are going to be good for so many more years to come, as it's hard for them to miss when it comes to them recruiting and drafting players, as we see year after year after year. But again, that'll be it for this episode of Heat Digest. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this class of players that we have as youngsters going into this NBA year for this Miami Heat team, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Heat Digest.